Hopefulness 2.0, day 5. I forgot to put the 2.0 in there yesterday. Granted, not really feeling all hopeful anyway, so it's whatever. Okay, so this is looking and smelling good, so I'm going to go ahead and dump in half into the other reserved portion of my starter. Looking. Now, we'll see. A bit more. Alright, so that needs to get wiped down. Needs to go in the fridge. I don't know if I'll just end up tossing this or not. We'll see. Apparently you can use it for stuff, since it's still technically a starter as well. So, we shall see. Pour out some water. Trying to, okay. So right about halfway up the Rubbermaid label, I guess. Alrighty. More flour. I didn't do anything regarding how to shoe yesterday. I was really considering it though, but it's gonna be kind of intensive. And I think in order for me to do it, I should wait until at least tomorrow to determine whatever I'm going to buy at the store. That way I don't put myself in, obviously look into the recipe and everything and determine what needs to be picked up. But for me, it's smarter if I wait. Because otherwise I try to get too excited, I might try to do it if I have the ingredients now, instead of waiting. Sometimes I get a little excited and I think I can, get to doing something that maybe I shouldn't. Hopefully these fucking bananas last, it's like I had these bananas, I don't know how long, feels like forever, and yeah, so it doesn't, still pretty firm too, so. After watching some Bob Ross last night, like actual Bob Ross. It's interesting, sort of the juxtaposition of Nick Hankins. And a lot of people have said, it's like Nick is channeling Bob Ross without trying to imitate Bob Ross. He's not, there's certain catchphrases, certain things like beat the devil out of or whatever. He's not trying to act all cool and hey, see what I just did? gives a little nod to it and moves on. And he's an actual, Bob Ross trained painter as well. There's a specific school that one can effectively attend to learn the styles, how to teach and how to paint and all that Bob did. So fell asleep to that, woke up at like 4:30, brush my teeth and take a massive fucking piss. Like, that piss was, it took like a minute. So like, one thing I learned not too awful long ago, a couple years ago at least, I think, maybe longer than that, I don't really know, it's been a while because I don't know what time is anymore. Evidently, scientists have literally studied how long it takes for most, I think, mammals, because mammals are kind of the ones that are similar enough in this, to pee. And the average, no matter how big or how small they are, is about 30 seconds. I've timed myself before, and it's right around 30 seconds on average. Like, I'm pretty sure I did it after the fact that I learned this, and I was like, what the fuck? Hell, I think I'm gonna name this 30 Seconds to Pee. Screw it, why not? Who cares? But, yeah, that's a fun little fact, but it took me over a minute. And the reason I know is because this toothbrush has an automatic off switch, which goes for a minute. So it goes for a minute, and then the switch turns off at that minute mark. And that's how I knew that it was a minute, because I was standing there peeing the whole time while brushing my teeth. Because, you gotta multitask when you're tired sometimes. So, yeah. I'm thinking that I might... Yeah, I think since I don't have the info to hand right now, because it's via the internets, and the internet is off at the moment because I'm recording, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-sort my dry ingredients for the next banana bread recipe. Do that. And then I'll probably do something similar for sourdough. And I might even do the same thing for pâte à choux, because they all require flour. And they may, and I know that with sourdough, it should, I believe, require some active dry yeast. If not, then it's whatever, but I think that's what I'll do today. Because I pre-measure out the dry stuff. Then when the time comes, I don't have to worry about it anymore. I've already done all the dry stuff. I don't have to make any more messes any other days. The dry stuff messes are done. And then that's it. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Today's also Papa Day, as we call it, where any request. So it's when the raids happen. We start flipping back and forth between various raid targets. It can be kind of fun, but it's kind of like, from my understanding, because I've never actually done it, but oh shit, I didn't realize. Okay. I realize it's reduced price because the expiration date's coming soon. I literally haven't even opened this since the 5th. This expires on the 9th. Cottage cheese is one of those other ones where I'm like, I might go ahead and pay attention to the expiration date. But, pour some water in there. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. I was talking about Pop Day. Oh, well, okay, so it's kind of a hurry up and wait situation, which I've heard is a very common thing in the military. And through my brief stint of acting, that was definitely a thing. Hurry up and wait was a very, very common thing in the world of acting. At least in the few opportunities that I got. Because there's a lot of setup, and sometimes you're involved in the setup and sometimes you're not. And sometimes that's kind of an on-the-fly thing as to whether or not you will be part of the setup. And like, so one of the last gigs I was in, when I was doing my little acting stint, I'd like to get back into it. It was fun. But I was an unpaid extra in a production. I don't know if it ever went anywhere, but we did at least get catering. Catering wasn't bad. I mean, it was really good fucking food. But they had requested me for 2 days. First day I was there, had to change clothes. Basically had me working as a... So, a lot of times, especially in film, they like to go meta. That is to say, they will film people doing stuff that happens on set. Now, one could say that's lazy, I don't know. But it depends on what story you're trying to tell, of course. And, a lot of times people, they tell the story that they know, which would be, doing stuff on set. And those stories, generally speaking, don't translate well to the rest of the world. From what I've been able to observe, it doesn't seem like those stories, those plays, TV shows, etc., really reach a wide audience. And I'm not saying that necessarily it's bad. I'm just saying that it seems like it's made specifically for... It's kind of like masturbatory, if you will. Whether it's bad or good, it depends on the person. But that's just my assessment. So, in it, and I'm like, there's various plays where it's like the characters are actors and so on and so on and so on. Well, in this one, I was part of a background crew that was doing stuff. And at one point I had to like pick up a ladder, move it over here, and blah, blah, blah. At one point during it was like one of the first takes, just positioning screwed up, and I was like stuck in one spot, and the camera was basically staring at me, and I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do in this situation. I felt bad, because it kind of felt like the director was on my ass about it, but like, that was also like one of the first days I'd ever done this kind of work. It was a pretty big production. There was easily 30 people working at it at any given point. And I'm not even talking about the actors. Like, that was what you call the below the line people, but also some of the above the line people. And it's like, I don't know, remember where it came from. We were taught about it in a film production class, but I think I had to drop that class at one point, I'm not sure. But older sheets would have the above the line, which was like the main actors, like the director, producer, blah blah blah, and then everybody else was below the line. Now, I don't know if in the original sort of intent behind this, if there was something, if there was status or whatever, if there was some kind of social hierarchy that was involved in that, or if it was just these are the people whose names are going to end up on a poster. I don't know. But humans being humans, and a lot of humans being assholes, social status hierarchy, blah blah blah, they go to people's heads. They're like, you're below the line, blah blah. It's whatever. I'm talking about industry stuff that I don't really know a lot about, but I know human behavior to a degree. And so, yeah, it's, there's assholes in every part of our world. I was looking for jobs yesterday. I couldn't find a goddamn one that I would be able to do. Or willing to. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know how these people find these fucking jobs. I see stories all the time, people. And of course, it's survivorship bias, it's selection bias, etc. People, finding jobs and getting great deals and blah, 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 and being paid more money than X, Y, or Z, and who knows how many stories that are the total opposite that don't get nearly as much coverage because they're not as successful. Yeah, but, when you see stuff like that, it's like, fuck, man, where the fuck are you people getting these goddamn jobs? I don't know. It's not much that brings me happiness or hope. I'm trying to call this hopefulness. I'm trying to be hopeful. It's difficult. I mean, look at what happened. I don't do well in the face of adversity. I don't. Because I was never taught, trained, showed how to deal with adversity. And the only thing I knew was to run away. When I was a kid, I would always run away from school whenever I got into fights. When I punched my mother in the face, I ran away. Because I never grew up learning a healthy way to fight adversity. I'm 40 years old. I still don't know how. Some people just say, well, you just gotta keep going. That is so fucking vague. You know, some might say, well, you're doing the bread thing. That's fighting adversity. I don't know. Because I don't have that. I don't have those outside influences that reinforce my good behaviors. And what good behaviors I might have, I downplay them. Because I'm like, I can see the bigger picture, and I'm like, this doesn't fucking do shit. I can't see the forest with the trees because I'm inside it. All I see is the trees. I think part of it was, at least part of my growth in my mid-20s, mid-late 20s, was when I was working security. I was walking around that building and I would always talk to myself. I would sort of challenge certain ideas and so forth. And I mean, you know, it seems like a good idea. And I've become much more distracted now than I ever had been. So now I have the internet at my fingertips at all times. Back then I didn't. Not until the last couple years. I didn't have a phone that had internet access. It was me and my thoughts. And I say progress. And just analyzing, breaking it down, thinking about things. It's hard to go back to that. It really is. But I mean, one of the reasons I was able to do it is because my life was stable. You know? Is that saying that being in a security guard was stable? No, it was because I was getting paid well enough. Not great, but well enough that all of my basic needs were met. And I had time, and obviously the job helped with the time, but I had time to think. And think about things beyond the urgent adversities of my life. My last job wouldn't have permitted it because it didn't pay me well enough to get out of the place where I had a regular urgent adversity living in the house with me. Kind of sucks that you have to have a job in order for you to, at least me, to be in a position to make thriving strides in your life. Instead of that being a guarantee. Almost every time that I have, it feels like a sense of hope for the future. Not far into the future, something says, "The fuck you are." It doesn't help that I'm easily influenced by all this shit. External factors. Just tired. Tired of fighting all the time, every day. Making... See, here's why. Going back to the whole, hey, breaking bread is making bread and stuff, that's against adversity, blah, blah. It's not, because it doesn't accomplish something that is a stepping stone towards the bigger problem that needs to be taken care of. It's not getting me a job. It's not making me money. It's not doing anything that is going to help keep me safe and from being homeless again. It's a distraction. Sometimes distractions are good. Don't get me wrong. It can help boost morale, and sometimes boosting morale can help you continue your fight and blah, blah, blah. I know. It's why bards are what they are in the world of militaries and video games and role-playing games and all that stuff. I mean, even in real life, when Ukraine was invaded and there were people playing, I think it was the national anthem at night. It was echoing through the cities and stuff. It's a morale booster. This is why you don't give up on the arts. This is why you don't defund the arts. Arts helps to create morale. Stories. Sure, propaganda can come from them. Propaganda can come from anything, though. We're humans. We're social animals who benefit from those morale boosts. So one of the reasons why I continue playing this game, it's less about the game, it's more about being with people in another capacity. COVID hit me hard because I was going to school, I was going to work, I was around people. I felt like even though I wasn't making a whole lot of money, I felt like I was getting to a point of opportunity, if you will, of healing. And that was all stripped away. I was hanging out with friends, I was trying to be a friend, like to be a person that I felt another person needed. I was hanging out with my friend on New Year's Eve, even though it was kind of a dumb idea, but it's New Year's Eve, we were at the bar, By the time I got there, it was super busy, it was out loud and fuck. I was hoping, because he had recently broken up with his girlfriend, and he was feeling shitty. And I wanted to be there for it. I wasn't there to get drunk or do anything. I think I had one drink, I don't know. I was there not to celebrate the new year, but to celebrate him. Because I hadn't really been that kind of person. I try to be when I can. But then with COVID and everything else, all the distancing and shit, shutting everything down, and then the living situation just not getting any better. Me trying to make that situation work better, and then losing a lot of fucking hope after George Floyd dies, and just put me back in my shell. Alright, let's ride this out for as long as I need to, because I'm unfortunately really well equipped. And the money was rolling in, making it even easier. And now the world's opening back up. Los Angeles is getting rid of its mask mandates. Same thing with NYC. Just have to wear them on transit. So sure, let's go back to normal, even though that's what got us here in the first place. Biden being the dick that he is, because, yeah, he was the better of the two options, but he wasn't the best option. It's like, we need to get people back into our beautiful downtowns. It's like, no. Like, we need to start thinking about the workers. Fuck the businesses. We need to think about if work from home is better for the worker. Like, I'm not a work from home kind of person. I prefer to work with people. I prefer to be with people. I prefer to be around people, blah, 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 blah. But not everybody's the same, and not everybody's living situation is the same either. I'm sure, and I bet there's probable actual, case studies where people were living in domestic violence situations where working from home or not going to work or losing their job or whatever made everything fucking worse. It's like, if businesses cared about their employees, this country would fucking prosper. Some would say it already has prospered. Yeah, part of it was because they fucking cared about their employees. Severance packages and shit. Training and shit. You gave a shit about you didn't just give a shit about your employee. You gave a shit about your employee and their family and their living situation so that they were a strong worker. Now, there's no fucking point. So many jobs. Just replace them with a fucking robot if you have to. We created more jobs. How many of those jobs are shit-ass minimum wage jobs that don't fuck the hours? We have so many people who are not unemployed. How many of those employed people are working 2 or 3 jobs? And how many people aren't you even counting? Because you're counting your unemployment per case basis, and not cases like mine, which are fucking expired. I can't get any goddamn unemployment, even though I'm unemployed. And yeah, there's a problem when unemployment pays better than employment was. That means employers are paying too fucking little. They're ripping off the workers. They don't give a shit. affects me, that affects a lot of people. And it makes me not want to work. It makes me want to just crawl into my shell and wait till I get kicked out of housing and then deal with whatever the repercussions are. Because I don't know how to face adversity. Still naming the video 30 Seconds to Pee. Have fun.